What's up? What's up? All right, so we got Instagram going. We got Facebook going. Oh, jeez. All right. So, since there's no Q&As, if anybody hops on and they have any questions, please just let me know. There is something I do want to go over real fast, so let me find. I just finished up my first 6-week postpartum class that I run at the hospital. Just ran my first one ever. So I have a little testimonial that I want to kind of go over with Facebook and Instagram. So let me grab her assessment real fast. So I make sure I say it correctly. But whenever I do a 6-week, this is my 6-week postpartum class, or if I work with anyone who is postpartum, we run assessments on day number 2 of the class, because the first day is really education, but day number 2, and then the last day. We run through this assessment here, as you can see, where we run through, we first check for diastasis, and then we run through some actual movements. And the main part for this is for the mom, the new mom or mom of 3 or whatever it might be, to really be in tune with their body, to really know what they're feeling and how they're feeling. And as a coach, I have watched what they're doing as well, so I can kind of, take notes on that as well. But this right here, we had one patient, client, whatever you want to say it. So we do diastasis, like I said. We do a squat. We do a hinge movement, an overhead press, and a lunge. And we do different rep schemes on this. So we don't just do 1 rep of everything, but we do. We start with 1, and then we do 5, and then we do 10 to 15 reps. The reason being is you can do 1 rep of anything and might not feel a single thing going on in your body, but then you start to add more reps. So then at 5 reps, you can feel something happening. And then at 10 reps, you can start feeling something. And at 15, you might start feeling something else. But in 6 weeks, actually not even 6 weeks, because she missed a few classes and whatnot. She did some of the stuff on her own. But her diastasis went down in less than 6 weeks. Like I said, went down. She had about roughly at the beginning 2-finger gap at the top and then 3 at the bottom. So we check at the top here and then we work our way down. So she had 2 at the top, 3 at the bottom. And at the end of the 6 weeks, that gap at the top was more like 1.5, and then the gap at the bottom was was 2 fingers. So we went from 3 fingers at the bottom gap to 2 fingers. It's huge. I mean, less than 6 weeks, we took her diastasis down. And like I said, she missed probably half of the classes. Now, she did some of the stuff on her own, but she missed half of the sessions. And we took her diastasis down. And you have to realize that on this program, we do not do anything ridiculous. We focus on our breathing strategies, and we just focus on breath. We also focus on a lot of rehab movements to heal the diastasis correctly. And so that was huge. I mean, her diastasis went down one whole finger gap at the bottom in less than 6 weeks. The other thing I want to mention, because we're not going to go over all of this, that I think was huge was on the overhead press movement. So we have an 8-pound bar, which I would use a PVC pipe if I had that, but we just use an 8-pound bar, and we're standing and we press it up overhead. And you're supposed to, whatever you're feeling when you press it up overhead. And on day number 2 of this program, on 1 rep, she noticed excessive tightness in between her shoulders. And on the 10 reps, she felt carpal tunnel. She also felt like her core was weak and really far forward, tightness still in the shoulder. So when she was pressing up overhead, she felt like her stomach was really extending out when she pressed up overhead. And then she felt some carpal tunnel in her hands on 10 reps of that. So pressing up overhead, she felt like her stomach was extending out, which is a lot of just core weakness and that diastasis. That was on day number 2. On day number 12, the last day of the program, nothing really to notice is what she put. We went from carpal tunnel to core feels weak to really far forward, like in the core feeling really far forward to nothing. Like that was huge. Like look right here. Let's see. I don't know if you can read that, but on 15 reps, nothing really to notice. That's huge. That's absolutely huge. That she felt nothing. On day number 2, core feels weak, really far forward, tightness still in the shoulders. On day number 12, nothing really to notice. That's huge. In 12 days, and she missed half of them, we went from core feeling weak, feeling like our core sticking out when we press up overhead, to feeling nothing. Like that's huge. The other thing that I want to mention was on her squat and lunge on day number 2, which a lot of women will feel like this. This is postpartum. When she would squat or she would lunge, she would feel like something is falling out or everything's falling out. And on day number 12, nothing. She didn't feel like that at all when she lunged or squat. She didn't feel like things were falling out. So in less than 6 weeks, with 2 times a week as all the classes, and just really focusing on breathing exercises and rehab movements, we went from things falling out, feeling like they're falling out, to nothing. To it feeling normal. Her squats and lunges felt normal. She didn't feel like things were falling out. And it's just amazing what you do when you properly rehab, you properly use breathing strategies for your postpartum, journey, what you can do in a short amount of time. And not a lot of time. Like the sessions they're like an hour, but there's education involved, there's rehab movements, and then there's a workout. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. So you guys, if you are postpartum, if you're going to be postpartum, you can really start to think about your postpartum journey, what you're going to do after birth. Like, I know we are focused so much on the baby itself and, getting everything set up for the baby, but you also got to think about yourself as a mom, because you want to have a functional body. You want to rehab yourself properly in order to really, like, if you have diastasis, to close the gap. If you have things like pelvic organ prolapse, where you feel like things are falling out when you squat or lunge, you want to be able to rehab that properly so you don't have any issues down the road. And if you're going to get pregnant again, you don't have to continue with any of those issues. A lot of those issues can lead to other things as well. So you just want to make sure that you're doing the things properly to rehab during your postpartum journey, and knowing how to do it correctly and having the right guidance is just key. So I wanted to share that with you guys, that little kind of testimony of running my first 6-week program, my first 6-week postpartum class. Like I said, we meet 2 times a week, and we focus on rehab and breathing strategies. It's just amazing what you can do in such a short amount of time. So I wanted to share that with you guys. If there's any questions, you guys can just share if you have any questions. I'd love to answer any questions from Instagram or on Facebook. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to hit on while I'm on here besides the postpartum testimonial, but let's see. Some topics that, we could talk about a million different things, but that's the main thing I wanted to hit on tonight. And so we're already 10 minutes in, so I think that's it for tonight. I think that's all we're going to talk about, is that little testimonial where 6 weeks of rehabbing and training properly to go from a 3-finger diastasis to 2, to going through overhead press, feeling like the core is extending out to nothing, and then feeling like when you're lunge and squat at the beginning, feeling like stuff is falling out, to going to feels normal. So just want to make sure that you guys, if you are postpartum, or if you know anybody who's going to be postpartum or is postpartum, to find a coach that can help them on their journey so we don't have to deal with these issues down the road. So that's my little Q&A, I guess, is, even though it's not one. If you guys have questions, or if you need anything, if you have any ideas for, if you want to know anything for any of these live videos, please reach out, let me know. I'm always here for you guys. I appreciate you guys even just checking in and tuning in and even watching even a little bit of this. I appreciate you guys, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. It's Monday, right? So I'll see you guys very soon.